Under a bright, cloudless sky at the former US Bagram Air Base, the Taliban marked the third anniversary of their return to power in Afghanistan with a grand display of military might. Once a symbol of American dominance and the epicenter of operations against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, Bagram has now become a stage for the Taliban to project their narrative of strength and sovereignty. The event, attended by approximately 10,000 men, including senior Taliban officials, was the Taliban's most elaborate celebration since their return to power in August 2021. Notably absent, however, was the Taliban's supreme leader, Hibatullah Akhundzada, whose mysterious and elusive presence continues to fuel speculation about his role within the regime. The ceremony, which barred women from attending, including female journalists from major international news agencies, featured a parade showcasing military hardware left behind by US and NATO forces, including helicopters, Humvees, and tanks. Uniformed Taliban soldiers marched in formation, brandishing a mix of light and heavy weaponry, while a motorcycle brigade waved the Taliban flag in a choreographed display of loyalty and power. This spectacle of military prowess stood in stark contrast to the dire realities faced by millions of Afghans. Decades of conflict have left the country in a state of economic collapse, exacerbated by international sanctions and the withdrawal of foreign aid. Aid agencies have sounded alarms about the worsening humanitarian crisis, warning that the lack of international engagement with the Taliban could lead to further suffering, particularly for women and girls who have borne the brunt of the regime's repressive policies. As the Taliban celebrated their triumph, the undercurrents of regional politics could not be ignored. In recent months, the Taliban have tried to position themselves as key players in the broader geopolitical dynamics of the Middle East, particularly concerning the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Iranian and Taliban officials have engaged in discussions about potential joint action against Israel, particularly in the context of the ongoing war in Gaza. The Taliban have emphasized the need for unified Islamic efforts to pressure Israel, particularly through the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Also, at one point, Iran's ambassador in Kabul even suggested that Taliban martyrdom forces might be deployed to Gaza if necessary, despite the tight control Israeli forces maintain over the region's borders. However, the relationship between Iran and the Taliban has also long been fraught with tension, particularly over issues like water rights and border security. The Taliban's return to power has exacerbated security concerns for Iran, especially with the influx of Afghan refugees straining resources and infrastructure in an already beleaguered Iranian economy. Despite these challenges, Iran has continued to provide financial support to the Taliban, with reports indicating that since 2012, Iran has funneled around $100 million annually to support the Taliban's fight against US forces. Therefore, this display of military power seems more symbolic to the West, such as showing its readiness when the tensions in West Asia are already at sky high.